don't know if this character Billy Chemirmir is a scary dude or he was wrongfully convicted. All I know is he was convicted of 2 murders and he is accused of killing nearly 24 women. He was found in prison, murdered. It is said that he was murdered by his cellmate. Let's get into this story. Shout out to The Guardian. A man who Texas authorities says smothered at least 24 elderly women in a 2-year killing spree while stealing possibly millions of dollars worth of jewelry and other valuables was himself murdered on Tuesday morning by a prison cellmate. This is according to the state's Criminal Justice Department. Billy Chemirmir, 50 years old. He worked as in home caregiver and he posed as a maintenance worker to gain access to luxury independent living communities in and around the Dallas, Texas area. He would gain access to these apartments of seniors. Then he would force a pillow over their face, smothering them to death before raiding the apartment of all its valuables, of which he would then pawn them or sell them online. He was convicted of capital murder once in April of last year, 2022, and again in October in 2 separate cases in Dallas County. Now, after securing those 2 convictions, Dallas prosecutors dropped additional charges against him and they opted not to seek the death penalty. I don't know why they would opt not to seek the death penalty. He's already convicted on 2 murders with overwhelming evidence, and he still is accused of 24 more murders. I guess they're going to try to take him to court and try each case and see which ones he will be found guilty of based on evidence and which ones he will be exonerated from. So Chemirmir faced another slew of charges in suburban Collin County, where prosecutors announced just last month that they would not seek execution. So because he was not on death row, Chemirmir had a cellmate at the Cofield Unit Prison in East Texas. That cellmate, who Texas prison authorities did not name when they dropped this report, he was identified as Chemirmir's killer, even though the media is keeping his identity quiet. This was jailhouse justice, said one person whose aunt, Catherine Sinclair, was the first alleged victim. Now, as far as Chemirmir is concerned, he is over and done with. Chemirmir was a Kenyan citizen, and he was living in the United States legally with a permanent resident status, or what we call a green card. His family is from Rift Valley between the cities of Eldoret and a place called Nakuru in Kenya. In a jailhouse interview before his convictions, Chemirmir said that he grew up on his family's farm and he took care of his elderly father. "I am not a killer," Chemirmir told the Dallas Morning News in 2022. "I am not at all what they are saying I am. I am a very innocent person. I was not brought up that way. I was brought up in a good family. I didn't have any problems all my life." He followed a sister of his to the U.S., where he got a job selling cars and later as a senior caregiver in North Texas. His family operates several senior living homes in the Dallas area, although no suspicious deaths have been reported in their facilities. Chemirmir was arrested on a few drunk driving and family violence charges in 2010 and 2011, but authorities say that his killing spree began in earnest in early 2016. He has been linked to at least 3 deaths at Edgamere, a luxury senior living community in Dallas where he was arrested for trespassing in June of 2016. Shortly after being released from jail on good behavior from the charge, authorities says that's when he began stalking and killing women at the Tradition Prestonwood, another senior living community in Dallas, Texas. He was then linked to 9 deaths between 2016 and 2018. Now, during all that time, most of the deaths and thefts were brushed aside as a resulting from natural causes. Smothering deaths leave very few signs for even a trained eye. So they had a problem figuring out if these people were getting smothered, if there was foul play involved, or if these were natural causes. And a lot of them that he has been alleged to have committed were thought at first to be natural causes. The local medical examiner testified at his trial that his team missed those signs initially because police on the scene did not report any additional suspicions. So they had no reason to think, foul play, somebody broke in, anything. It was not until a woman survived an attack at Preston Place Senior Living in Plano, and then she provided a description to the police that authorities finally caught on. They set up a stakeout at his Dallas apartment, and they arrested him after seeing him throwing away a jewelry box from one last murder. Chemirmir had appealed his convictions, and he maintains his innocence, and he did so until his death. He kept on saying it wasn't him. He was being framed. He's not guilty. This person the media is trying to paint him out to be is not who he is at all whatsoever. He grew up in a home with a mom and a dad, raised on a farm in Kenya. He took care of his grandfather when his grandfather, his ailing father, also when they were about to pass. And this is just not him. He's being framed. He's being set up. Now, I'll tell you that there are people who think that he was being set up, but evidence don't lie. Well, in most cases. So the Texas Department of Criminal Justice said that its Inspector General's office was investigating Chemirmir's slaying. It wasn't the justice that we know about through the judicial system, but this is a form of justice, said Shannon Dion. Shannon Dion, whose mother, Doris Gleason, died in October of 2016. She said, "My mother died in fear. She feared in her last moments. This man did not have a peaceful passing. There is more relief in feeling that he didn't get off easily." In other words, you could understand that people are happy that this happened to him and that this is how he passed in prison. Basically, she said, my mom died in fear, her last minutes. She didn't have a peaceful passing, and this is karma because neither did he. I don't know if he was strangled, he was beaten to death. They did not give a description of the condition in which he was found, and they have not yet done the autopsy to give a report on exactly what the cause of death was. All we know as of now is that his cellmate, Billy Chemirmir, at 50 years old, is dead, and his cellmate is the one who is blamed for his death. Made a lot of people happy. Some people in the justice system are not happy, though, because this is not the justice that they wanted. They wanted him to go to trial. They wanted him to be tried and convicted. I think eventually they probably would have ended up putting him on death row. But for the meantime, they would stay away from the death penalty, and they would continue to plow through all the cases that he was attached to or suspected of being involved with to try to see how many of them they could actually get real closure for. honestly speaking, he's dead. And he maintained his innocence all throughout, from the moment he was charged until his death. So all the other cases, yeah, we can go ahead and say he did it, but in actuality, there's no proof. So in reality, there could very well be a serial killer out there who is responsible for 24 elderly women being murdered, and we just scapegoated one person. And because he's gone, even though he was never tried and convicted on any of those other ones, we'll just throw the charges on him because he's dead and we'll keep it moving. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain: karma never misses an address. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.